Tim, overall, what do you think of my look right now? Tim? Tim? This is SportsCenter with Jay and Dan. Ryan Rashog is the first to report the Edmonton Eskimos will retire their team nickname with an announcement expected as early as next week. The current incarnation of the franchise has held the nickname since its inception in 1949. This comes just a few days after Washington's NFL team decided to change their nickname. And so let's check in with Ryan Rashog in the Coors virtual side seats. And Ryan, just last week, the Eskimos said they'd come to a decision on the name by the end of the month. Obviously, things are moving a little bit quicker. What more can you tell us about this developing story?
Yeah, obviously expedited the process, and an announcement expected to come as early as next week that they have made a decision. They will be changing their name. I think a flurry of phone calls and meetings by the board behind the scenes, lots of discussion. This obviously very much a front burner issue for them. Consultation with season ticket holders. I think the Eskimos were holding true with their promise to consult the Inuit communities as well, which they had done several times in the past. But, you know, Jay, Eskimo President Chris Presson had been doing some media locally in recent days, and some of the language that he was using really led us to believe that they were heading in this direction. Talked a little bit about common sense, you know, and one of the things that he said in the past is that the lens with which these are viewed through now is much different than they would have been 3 years ago when consultation first began. So you felt this was coming, but you know, we've confirmed the Eskimos will be changing their name.
And Ryan, any idea about the costs associated with the name change like this? And here's the second part of that question. Any idea what the new name might be?
Yeah, and those two might kind of be associated somewhat, Jay, and just common sense applying there. Janice Agrios, the chair of the Eskimo board, is on record as having said they looked into this, and it's potentially going to cost the organization over $1 million to try and rebrand and do this. And when you consider the financial situation faced by the Eskimos and the entire CFL, this is tough timing, but clearly they've put the need for change over the financial hardship. So what could it be? Well, when you think about Edmonton Eskimos, I think a lot of people think about the double E. So could they figure out a way not to have to change that? The Edmonton Empire is something that is talked a lot about in these parts that would allow them to keep the double E, obviously keep the green and gold. I'm sure there'll be consultation and discussion about, you know, giving fans maybe a chance to weigh in. But from a branding standpoint, changing the least, that would definitely make some sense, wouldn't it?
I actually like Elks. I just think it's cool. Well, it has not been a great start to the MLS's back tournament for TFC or the Montreal Impact, as we welcome you to SportsCenter with Jay and Dan, presented by McDonald's. So TFC, they blew a 2-goal lead to DC United in their first match. Montreal lost a 1-0 contest to New England. And those two teams faced each other on Thursday night, what they call the 401 Derby, because the 401 is the highway that separates the two cities. In the middle, you can stop for delicious apple pie. Here's Darren Detition.
Thank you. They are the greatest of rivals, TFC and Montreal. And as you had mentioned, both sides looking for their first win at the return to play tournament after TFC gifted a 2-goal lead to DC United. And this matchup was all offense all the time. Yet another exciting chapter to the rivalry. 8 minutes in, Alejandro Pozuelo will spot Richie Larea overlapping down the wing. He races in behind the defense. Nice little cutback, and Larea is just going to rip it past the keeper. Larea getting the start at left back in place of Justin Morrow. That's going to make it 1-0 TFC. The Impact, though, wastes little time responding. Just 6 minutes later, Kyoto is played in behind the Toronto defense, and he makes no mistake, quickly tying it up at 1. 25th minute. Check out the pretty passing by the Reds. Pablo Piatti spots Pozuelo, and it is a perfect ball to Ayo Akinola. He'll finish it off. Akinola starting up top with Josie Altidore, still not match fit, has his 3rd goal of the tournament. Pozuelo collects his 2nd assist of the game. It's 2-1 Toronto. But again, it was another short-lived lead. In the 35th minute, Chris Mavinga with a bad challenge on Kyoto in the box. Penalty is awarded to the Impact. Safir Taider steps up, and we are tied again. The Impact back level, but right off the restart, watch this.
Defending there. This match is level. It's 2-2. 37th minute of the game. Expect more goals.
Pozuelo through into the path of Ayo Akinola. It's Akinola! It's incredible! Straight from kickoff, Ayo Akinola scores again, and Montreal are behind again.
Just 46 seconds later, Akinola has his second of the game. He's just the second ever TFC player to score 2 goals in back-to-back games. Pozuelo collects his 3rd assist of the match. 83rd minute. Quentin Westberg's clearance, headed forward by Nick De Leon. Right to Akinola. He breaks in, and he will complete the hat trick. His tournament-leading 5th goal. Josie Altidore loves what he's seeing as Toronto FC get a big win over their rivals. Head coach Greg Vanny was singing Akinola's praises postgame.
I always envision him as this guy, the guy that he is showing now. And I think just over the last little bit, for the last year and a half or 2 years, it's really he's been getting his head wrapped around this is who he is, and he's gotten himself fit. He's worked incredibly hard in the preseason. He just looks like he loves playing soccer, and all of that is coming out in his performances. And yeah, he's got an experienced guy like Pozuelo who is guiding him through the course of the game, helping him with some information, but also a guy who can provide you with some really good chances. And I think that's, a player like Ayo on a team like us, he's always going to get chances to score, and he's putting them away because we can create opportunities. That's one thing our team can definitely do. And a guy like Ayo and his profile is always going to get his chances. And the question is just putting him in the back of the net. For sure, he is now.
You're watching Jay and Dan. Ontario's Minister for Culture and Sport, Lisa MacLeod, told TSN 1200 in Ottawa Thursday that the Blue Jays have received permission from the provincial government to play regular season home games in Toronto. TSN Scott Mitchell, though, reports that while the Toronto health authorities have also signed off, the federal government has not given permission yet. A decision is expected in the next few days. The Blue Jays' regular season begins July the 24th in Tampa. Their first home game is scheduled for July the 29th against the Nationals. The Washington Post is reporting that 15 former female employees of the Washington Redskins are alleging they were sexually harassed by former scouts and people close to owner Dan Snyder from 2006 to 2019. Thursday, the team announced they had hired a local law firm to investigate the organization's policies and allegations of workplace misconduct. In the NBA, Pelicans rookie Zion Williamson has left the bubble in Orlando to attend an urgent family medical matter. Williamson intends to rejoin the team for the NBA restart at a later date. He'll need to spend 4 days in quarantine and test negative for COVID-19 each day he is off campus. The Pelicans' first game is July the 30th against the Utah Jazz. And now we're walking. And I have to say, I am done with this script, so I'm just gonna... that window. I gotta fix that now. Hey, guess what? Tiger Woods is back. Now, the last time we saw Tiger Woods play golf was that was an awesome match event with it was him and Phil and Tom Brady and Peyton Manning. It was a lot of fun. But he hasn't played a professional round since the Genesis in LA back 5 months ago. So, of course, he had to play the Memorial Jacks tournament this weekend because he consistently dominates this event in Ohio. So let's check out first round action, shall we? Opening round.
How could you do that?
There's Tiger. I like the aquamarine shirt.
He just left to the flag.
Got off to a great start. Birdie on 1. Wedge into the 3rd green. It's nice he kicked that in for birdie, so he's quickly at 2 under. Bryson DeChambeau, the leader in driving distance this season, that's actually not what has impressed Tiger.
He's hitting it further, but let's look at the fact that he's hitting it as straight as he is. That's probably the most difficult thing to do.
It actually would be cool to have Tiger be a broadcaster. DeChambeau, winner 2 weeks ago in Detroit, averaging 324 yards with the driver this season. First hole playing 473 yards. He clears the dog leg, nearly drives the green. 423 yards, longest tee shot on Thursday by almost 50 yards. This guy is jacked. Back to Tiger, 1 under, making his 18th appearance at Muirfield Village. 5-time champ.
Better get going.
Leaves the chip on the par 3 8th well short. A bogey would bring him back to par. Tiger's last win came here in 2012. Still even for the day on 15. This shot from just over 100 yards out.
I think it works.
He knocked that in for birdie. So an up and down day. He had an opening round 71. And we have you covered on Moving Day Saturday. Tune in 3 Eastern, noon Pacific to watch the 3rd round on TSN. We'll also have the final round. Tiger has never missed the cut at this tournament, so there's a good chance you're going to see him on TSN and CTV2 this Saturday. Well, the Flames continue their training camp in Calgary. Much of the talk surrounds Johnny Hockey himself, Johnny Gaudreau, who has not been skating with the main group and his usual line mates, Sean Monahan and Elias Lindholm. Gaudreau insists he came to camp in good physical condition.
I feel good. I feel, fresh. I mean, I'm excited to be in a group of 9 right now because I'm getting extra reps in, and being off the ice for 2-3 months. It's all the reps you can get is pretty crucial.
He's got a lot of jump. He's come back in great shape. He's working extremely hard. He's having fun out there. I mean, he's got a smile on his face, which is extremely important. This is a time of year that you have to enjoy. So everything that we've wanted out of Johnny, he's got right now. He's checked all the boxes.
Austin Matthews, Nate McKinnon, and Ryan O'Reilly are your finalists for the Lady Byng Trophy that is awarded to the most gentlemanly player in the National Hockey League. All 3 received 5 or fewer minor penalties this season. Think about that. You're a gentleman if you win this award, and O'Reilly has won it before. Bobby Ryan, Oscar Lindblom, Stephen Johns have been named finalists for the Bill Masterton Trophy. Ryan entered the NHLPA Player Assistance Program in November, returned to the Senators in February. Lindblom was diagnosed with a rare type of bone cancer in December, completed radiation treatments a couple of weeks ago. And Johns made his return to the NHL in January, 22 months after being sidelined with post-traumatic headaches. We really wish they could give this award to all 3 guys because they are absolutely deserving. When we return, we're going to tell you who got into the Canadian Football Hall of Fame on Thursday. It was one of our own. But here's a hint. It was not Jeff O'Neill. Well, the Canadian Football Hall of Fame unveiled their class of 2020 Thursday. The ceremony was scheduled for August. That has obviously been postponed. But we do know who's going into the Hall, and one of those people is one of our own, and we could not be prouder. So let's run through everybody who's into it. And we begin, well, there you go. We kind of gave it away. Henry Burris, that's our guy. Very excited that he's in. The Canadian Football Hall of Fame has elected 4 players, 2 builders. Offensive lineman Clyde Brock and Freddie Childress will be inducted in the player category, along with former UFC quarterback Greg Vavra, who will be inducted as an amateur. They're joined by John Hufnagel and the late Larry Utek in the builders category, and of course, Smilin' Hank. Well, the NBA is going into the bubble to get their season going again. What they've done, they've set up a hotline for players and personnel to report protocol violations. Now, so far, it's stuff like improper social distancing or not wearing masks. But we wondered, they're calling it the snitch line, and we wondered what it would be like if we called the snitch line.
Thank you for calling the NBA Bubble Snitch Line. If a player is breaking quarantine, press 1. If Nick Nurse is playing guitar, press 2. If Nick Nurse is playing Wonderwall, press 3. If Nick Nurse is playing Jack Johnson, press 4. If Nick Nurse is over 7 minutes into Don McLean's American Pie, press 5. If Nick Nurse has gone electric, press 6. If Nick Nurse is yelling, "Hello, Orlando, how you feeling tonight?" press 7. Or if you'd like to be relocated to a non-Nick Nurse floor, please stay on the line. This hold music courtesy of Nick Nurse.
We love you, Coach. We'll tell you what we messed up next. Who Delivered is brought to you by Mick Delivery, and it was on this date in 1941 that Yankees legend Joe DiMaggio extended his hitting streak to 56 games, setting a major league record that remains to this day. The Yankee Clipper Joltin' Joe DiMaggio always delivered. The nation turns its lonely eyes to you. Hey, it's time for our popular You Blew It segment, and I believe we even have the font back. So that's exciting. There it is. I didn't explain what the Bill Masterton Trophy was. It's awarded to the player who best exemplifies perseverance, sportsmanship, and dedication to hockey. So you got to believe Bobby Ryan, Oscar Lindblom, Stephen Johns. Either of those guys would be so worthy of the award. Thanks for watching. Take care.